All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shavar, and welcome to the Reno Ledger, where smart homeowners come before they build, buy, or renovate. Every week here on the Reno Ledger, we cut through the opinions, the hype, and the expensive mistakes to bring you research-backed answers to your toughest home renovation questions. So do me a favor, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Live, wherever you are, jump into the chat, ask your questions, and let's build smarter together. Tonight, we're diving into a topic that I'm sure is very near and dear to your heart if you're a homeowner like I am: kitchen renovations, and more specifically, kitchen design agreements. So, let me set the stage for tonight's discussion. Imagine you've invested in a professional kitchen design. You paid a design fee, collaborate with the designer through a couple of different renovations, and you all approve the final plans. Here's the $1 million question, and the question that you homeowners have asked us at the Rental Ledger to research. Do you actually own those plans? Now, most of you would probably think, of course, I paid for those plans, they're mine, right? But in many cases, the answer is no. If you check our YouTube content, you'll see that in yesterday's episode, we took a close look at the fine print behind kitchen design agreements and unpacked what those contracts often say about ownership, intellectual property, and the rights homeowners actually receive. That discussion, however, was from the homeowner's perspective. Tonight, we're going to take it a bit further. We're going to get insights from the professionals who are sitting on the other side of the table. Joining me is Kassy Dieujuste, owner of Moments with Materials, a design build firm based in North Hollywood, California. Kassy has over 20 years of industry experience and expertise, and she's been designing and building kitchens and other residential spaces for quite some time now. So she's helped countless homeowners bring their vision to life while navigating the business side of the renovation process. Kassy, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, Shavar. Thank you so much for having me on the Rental Ledger.
That is great. That is great. We're looking forward to a great discussion with you. I'm sure we're going to be asking you a question that you've probably heard from homeowners several times now over the years. But before we dive into our discussion, quick note for you all. The way we work here at the Rental Ledger is simple. Our content is built around your questions. So if you're joining us, regardless of where you're joining us at, if you're joining us live or after the fact, send us comments, send us questions, send us messages, and maybe next time around, your question will be the subject of our content. All right. So that was a mouthful. With all of that, we can go ahead and we can dive right in. So
Okay.
the primary question that we got this week, Kassy, was if I sit down with you and I want to do a kitchen renovation, I pay you for the drawing, right?
Okay.
What is a kitchen design? What's a fair design fee range look like in this market in 2026? How much
Well,
should I expect to spend?
it really will vary depending on your space, but typically a renovation design drawing can run you from $1,500 to $5,000. It can be more, it can be less, depending on your space, depending on what the designer or the firm is going to be doing.
Okay,
That's a,
that's
that's a mid
fair.
range fee.
All right, so I have $1,500 to spare, maybe 2,500. Let's go right in the middle. I have 2,500 to spare. I decide, hey, I want to hire you. What does that get me? What's behind the number? The hours, the measuring, the revisions. You come out. How does that work? I have my $2,500. Cassie, I want to hire you. What does that get me?
Okay, well, it's not that simple. I don't know whether that would be 2,500 at the time, only because we need to do a little bit more of research for you. So how it normally would work is I would come to your residence, we would have a consultation, and what that will entail is us going deep diving into the space that you're going to be remodeling. And so let's use an example for this. We'll say a kitchen, you're trying to remodel your kitchen, right?
My
Every
wife.
kitchen That's fine. Your kitchens, they vary. There can be 10 by 10, they can be 10 by 20. You can have the kitchens that are, oblong. There's lots of different variations of kitchens that are out there. So if we're going to your home, we're going to talk to you about your specific kitchen that we're going to be remodeling. We're going to deep dive into what it is that you really want out of this kitchen. You're going to have an extensive list. There'll be things that can work for your space. There would be things that really won't work for your space, and so we'll be discussing those things in our consultation. We're going to be taking measurements.
I assure you.
I'm
So
sorry.
I said we have a lot of opinions. I assure you of that. So if we have some design ideas, can we bounce those off you? How does that work?
Absolutely. I mean, the whole point of this conversation is for me to understand where you are coming from. You can tell me the most outrageous stuff, but that's okay. I want to hear those things because I want to bring that down into what we can actually do in your space. So it's very important to hear everything that you have, everything that you imagine in your kitchen. No little detail is too much. The only ones that are, not good is the one that you don't mention to me. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to ever try to do the full design and then we wish we would have known something. So we want to get every single information that you have, even the smallest detail, minute detail. You tell me everything. And how that works is in that discussion, when I'm finished having that discussion with you, I will be able to determine from that, okay, you're going to need X amount of drawings, and that is to determine your cost. That right there. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of examples right now.
Sure.
After we've discussed on what it is that you want to physically do, I'm going to tell you, okay, for your kitchen design drawing, let's just say it's going to cost you about $5,000. Okay. Because design for your kitchen, we're just going to shoot high just to kind of give you a good range. Okay. We're going to say you're going to need these many drawings because you want to see, you're not a visual person, and you and your wife wants to know exactly how this is going to lay out. And so I'm going to give you a 3-point perspective drawings and show you what that looks like. And so what that looks like is something like this. This is a 3D perspective drawing of a kitchen.
Okay.
Can you see that?
I like that kitchen.
So did our clients. They were very pleased with this once we were finished.
Okay.
This is just one perspective. This is another perspective of the kitchen. I'm going to show you this one as well.
Okay. And so before I decide on what style we want to go with, you're going to give us these 3D renderings, couple of different perspectives. Will it be in just that single style, or will we have the option to look at multiple styles? How would that work?
So how it will work is you're going to already tell me what you want. And so you and your wife are modern. You guys want a completely modern kitchen. You guys don't have any kids. I mean, I don't know your situation, but we've already just had the discussion. That's why I said that it's an in-depth discussion. So we're going to know already before we leave your home to what direction we're going to actually really go towards. And so in this drawing right here, we've discussed that you want to go with a modern kitchen, very clean, very slick, but you also want a lot of functionalities, which is why certain areas in this kitchen, so I'm going to point this out to you, is right here. You wanted like a coffee station. Okay. This is a coffee station with the glasses that'll go on top, and then the electrical that's going to go in behind it. Okay. We've already discussed this, and now I'm going to put it all together. The time, the measuring, because I'd have to take measurements of your kitchen.
I can't measurements and just send them to you?
Unfortunately, no, because in doing kitchen cabinetry, you might give me a general measurement. It might be 22 feet, and your wall might be 22 feet. However, I measure it, it's actually 22 and 5/8. That 5 inch actually matters, when we're doing kitchen cabinetry, because we might need fillers. We might need to, tweak a couple of things. Certain cabinetries that you might want, maybe you want fabricated kitchen cabinetry, maybe you want custom. All of these minor details come into play. So measurements are very, very detailed, and so that's why we really have to go over. You can give it to us, which we're very grateful for. However, we're going to have to deep dive and do that ourselves because we want to be specific. We can't go on assumed measurements when we're trying to get specific things for your kitchen.
Okay, so we said that a reasonable range for a design fee is about $1,500 to $5,000. Let's say in our example scenario, you come out, you take a look at my space, it's about $5,000, and we've given you all of our wild, crazy opinions. You've taken those back, you've put together those drawings. Once we decide on, okay, we like the style that you've come up with, we like what this kitchen is going to look like. If we decide to go with your company, is a portion of the fee that we pay to you credited back to us if we decide to have you do the work for us?
Absolutely. We love to help our clients and our customers that work with us. We want to make this transition very easy for you. And how we do that in several ways. Because we are a design build firm, we actually do the materials. So custom cabinetry, prefabricated materials, slabs, flooring, everything that we design. I'm sorry?
Not just drawings?
No, we're not just drawing. We don't just draw it to make it look pretty. That's not what we do. We don't want you to just look and say, "Oh, this is great." We want to make this vision actually come to life. And the way that we're able to do that is by providing you with the materials that we have on the the specification sheet. We are the ones that are going to tell you these cabinetries that you have for white oak, we actually can provide that for you. And then it's going to be custom.
Are those prefab cabinets? Can I do custom cabinetry? If I wanted to get really funky, could I do custom cabinets?
Absolutely. Okay. Custom cabinetries allow you a little bit more flexibility when you have long walls. If you need to make like a 48 cabinet or even a larger than that. Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys are basically a one-stop shop. I can get everything from design to installation with you all.
Correct. And so just to finish answering your question, the other ways that we're able to provide help and assistance is when you do sign up with us, we will give you a portion of that design fee back or credit it into your final estimate. And what that means is because when we do the drawings, we can actually provide you with what's called a specification sheet, and it will itemize everything that's on this design that we've given you. So we can literally make this kitchen come to life and you'll know how much it'll cost you.
Okay, perfect. So we've talked about the price range for the design. We've talked about what that entails, you coming out, sitting down with us. We've talked about if we decide to do business with you specifically and with someone in general, it's your policy that you might credit a portion of that back to us. Someone else might be different, but I want to ask the $1 million question because I've gotten this question from a lot of homeowners who follow us. They want to know, once I pay you that $5,000, do I own those drawings?
That is the $1 million question, but the truth answer is no, you do not. We actually own the design because it is our intellectual property. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Unfortunately, us as the designers, we own the rights to the drawings, and all that means is that it's our intellectual property. We took the time to design it in these specific details. We used our professionalism to design it to this. What you have, you can easily give it to somebody else, but the design, I can guarantee you, will not be the same, and that's okay. But what we like to do here at Moments with Materials, just say, hey, we want you to license this drawing, and we charge a one fee for that. So we say, hey, if you want to license these drawings so that you can go and shop them out, we are totally fine with that because we are so secure in knowing that we will provide you with the best quality material at reasonable prices. So we encourage our clients to say, hey, you want to take this in and shop it around? Go right ahead. The licensing fee for us is about $450. So you would have to pay that in addition to the design so that we can now say, hey, this is a full package for you. Now take these drawings plus the specification sheet that you will receive from us to show you, okay, this kitchen that you want, I'm just going to give you a random number. Let's just say this is like a $20,000 kitchen. Let's just it'll be an itemized list that shows you exactly what the material will cost, what the cabinetries cost, so on and so forth. And you can go out and shop that around. Absolutely. We encourage that. Okay.
So just to be clear, let me recap for all of the homeowners out there who weren't quite clear on this. I'm gonna have you come out, I'm going to have you consult. I'm going to pay you a design fee because I want you to take all of my great and wild ideas and I want you to bring that to life to me visually in those images that you just showed. But I don't own those images, even though I paid you the fee, right? Because I'm paying your creativity and your ideas. I then can pay you a licensing fee and then I'll gain ownership of those, right? I can take them and shop them around if I like.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're basically paying us for our time, for us to do the measurements, for us to take, exactly what you have in mind and basically sift through all of the things that we know to be true in your space and then make that come to life. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I think we are pretty clear on how this works. I think we're pretty clear on who owns what and how I actually gain ownership. So to all of my homeowners out there, if anybody is preparing to go sit down with the designer tomorrow, what are some of the things that you tell them they should be paying attention to in the contract before they sign it? What should they be aware of? What should they be looking for?
Well, this is a very good question because again, you want to make sure that you're not just getting a drawing because that's oftentimes what you're getting. People like to say, "Oh, well, I can, chat GPT this and it'll be great. It looks amazing." The problem with that is you don't know if it's actually to scale or if it's going to fit your actual kitchen. It might look amazing. Let's just say that it tells you need 10 cabinets on this one wall, which is 20 feet. We'll give you an example. But in actuality, you can only really fit seven cabinets. So it's like you're spending money on something that you can't really even use. And so you want to really pay attention to that. You want to make sure that the drawings that you get are to scale and they will fit the exact walls that you are trying to put in your kitchen. The next thing you want to pay attention to is you want to make sure that you're getting drawings that you need because there's, I want to say maybe 18, 19 different kinds of drawings that we can draw. So you really want to know, okay, we're doing a kitchen remodel. We only need X. And so it's important to know what those are.
Let's dive into that for a second. So say that I sit down with the designer and they're in their agreement, they're listing maybe 7 types of drawings. And I don't know if I need all of those drawings or not. Can you give me some examples of what the basics are that I need and what are some of the additional ones that maybe I don't need or maybe is dependent upon my specific situation?
Absolutely. Again, every space is going to require different types of drawing, which is why when I say the range of 15 to 5,000, it varies because again, you yourself could only need maybe 3 drawings, whereas somebody else might really need all 10 drawings. So it really will depend on like your specific space. But like for a couple of examples, just so that you know which ones are kind of necessary, you want to make sure you have what's called an existing plan. That is a necessity for any home. You want to make sure you have a starting point. That's what that's going to give you as to, hey, my kitchen looks just like this. This is exactly what it looks like. These are the dimensions. These are the walls. This is what my kitchen looks like. Then from there, you're going to do something. Another drawing would be called a demolition plan. And what that plan is going to show, okay, so for this existing plan, we're going to take away.
We start knocking.
We're going to take away this one wall. You know what I mean? And you'd have to have also an engineer make sure that it's not a load-bearing wall. There's other things that come into play, but nonetheless, this is a drawing that you will have to have.
Sure.
Then from there, you're going to need what's called a floor plan, which is the layout of what you are now going to do. And so you'll have a demolition plan. You'll have an existing plan. Your layout shows, okay, after I take these walls out, I'm going to now open up my kitchen and I'm going to have a large island. I'm going to have these walls over here. I'm going to have, it's going to really tell you, these are things that you need, something that you might not need. It might be a lighting plan. What if you just already installed recessed lighting in your home? You don't charge you for a lighting plan because that is another fee,
And I'm going to be checking for every line item because I'm not trying to pay any extra fees. So
that might be something you really might not need. Another one that you will need are cabinetry layouts because you want to really see how your cabinets are going to lay out. That's very important. And then what kind of cabinets are you trying to get? Are they the ones that pull out? Do they have soft closing? You want to ask a lot of these detailed information because sometimes they don't let you know right off in front. So
Okay. Yeah. So this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of answers that people were looking for. I think that this is great information. Is there something that maybe we could leave with the viewers, maybe a checklist or something that they could download and take into the next discussion? Do you think that's something we can put together and then maybe drop off with the viewers?
Absolutely. I will send you definitely a checklist for plans and drawings that you should look out for.
Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is if you're watching us on YouTube, go to the Reno Ledger. If you're watching us on Facebook, go to the Reno Ledger. Instagram, the same. I'll add the attachment checklist. You all can download it and you'll have that information armed and ready. The next time you go sit down and talk to a designer, you'll be able to avoid some of those extra unnecessary fees that they want to add in. All right. So it's been great talking with you, Kassy. I know that there's some things that I did know coming into this discussion, some things that I didn't know. I hadn't actually seen any of those 3D renderings on my own prior to now, so that was great to see. I'm definitely going to download that checklist and keep that when I go and get prepared for that next kitchen renovation. Before we go, do you want to go ahead and plug your business? Where can they find you on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, your website? Do you have a showroom? Where can they find you?
Okay.
Give it to
Give
us.
me the details. No problem. So we are located at 4795 Vineland Avenue. That's in North Hollywood. It is an
Okay.
actual physical showroom. So you
Oh,
can come on in. We can help you talk about what materials are, because that's another question that a lot of homeowners, for us, we find, questions that are asked is they don't know what type of materials they need to use or what materials are best. So we educate you here at Moments with Materials. So come on in. No question is a dumb question, only the ones that we don't ask. So absolutely. And for our website, we are just under construction because we're adding new cabinetries to our website. So that'll be coming up in a couple more weeks. But you can find us on Facebook, and I'm sure you have the rest of the information at the Rental Ledger.
Sure. So again, everybody, Moments with Materials. That's momentswithmaterials.com, Moments with Materials on Facebook. Go check her out. Be sure to send her messages and ask her some questions since she's the professional. And just to restate it again, this is our first live. We are the Rental Ledger. We're the research side of renovation. So you, the homeowner, you send us your questions. We research those questions. We give you answers. And every once in a while, we'll bring in the professionals to give you their perspective and their take on things. We have roughly about 24 checks that we've already performed on the YouTube page and on the Facebook page. If you haven't seen those, go check us out. Go give us your feedback. Be sure to send us your questions. And if anything that we've said tonight hits home, be sure to like, give us a subscription. And until next time, folks, we will see you soon. Thanks for joining us on the Rental Ledger. You all have a good evening. Thanks, Kassy. We appreciate you.
Have a good day.